Hello and welcome to the third in the series, inspired, if that's the right word, by modern comments. I have been working on them and have come to the conclusion that I'm not going to use them very much if I can avoid it. I'm going to use them for notes, but when it comes to author queries, I've built up a sort of an alternative way of working which I hope might be helpful, and we'll see what you think. Okay, there are problems with modern comments, which are basically, as you may have discovered, that there's a lack of screen space. If you're track changing and you've got comments, then you lose a lot of screen space because of them being separate. And worse than that, much worse for me, is that you can't use macros in the comment text, so it's a non-starter really for me. And you can't use auto text, autocorrect or quick parts either in the comments. So I had a go, see what I could do, and as an alternative I tried what turned out to be an abortive attempt. I converted all my macros to use the old comments pane. In other words, let's see it down here. Down at the bottom of the screen is where you have the comments pane, and I could type things in there, and you can use macros in there, and which is fine. However, as it's gone on, I've discovered that it doesn't work properly. If you select some of the text there, it doesn't appear to be selected. It is selected because if you do a Control B to get bold or back and forth, then it's there, but you can't see the selection, so that's really not a good idea for sensible working. So I've abandoned that and looked for a better way of doing things. And what I wanted to do was to use existing features, which means that they're stable, they're not likely to be changed. If we're using that comment pane, who knows what Microsoft might do. It might change the way it works or whatever, so I didn't fancy that. Now, a lady by the name of Kate Babbitt on the CEL, the editors email group, said that she uses Footnotes, and I thought, now that sounds interesting. Seemed at first to be a great idea, and there are positives but negatives. The positives are that the comments are close to where you're referring to them. However, if you start using large comments, then they alter the pagination, because all this extra text is down in the footnote on the end of the page, and therefore that pushes all the rest of the text of the document further down. And I'm not sure I like the idea of changing the way the document's laid out, in a sense, by pushing things down. Okay, so what next? Well, my next idea was to store the queries at the end of the file, and I realized that I could link them via the EndNotes facility. And what that means is that the page structure of the document isn't changed, because all the documents are down at the bottom. Okay, well, they're a long way from the where they are, the text is that they're related to. So is that going to be workable? Well, yes, it is. Let's have a look at how they work. I've only, at the moment, it's just the basic concept of using what I've called QQ comments. You've got to call them something. QQ is a bit of text which I use in the comments as a way of providing some unique text that I can identify with the macro to jump up and down. And okay, the comments are at the end of the text. However, if you use the split screen facility, then you can look at the different parts of the document, the main text perhaps in the top and the comments down at the bottom that they relate to, and you'll see how that works in a minute. I'm using a macro here which switches the split screen on and off, or you could use the alternative view. So if you go view new window, which is it's on top, yeah. So there you've got two windows that you can size and move, and you can do the same. You can use my new system either with a split screen or with two separate screens. So if you've got two monitors, then you could perhaps have the comments on one side and the text on the other. Okay, so that's the split screen. There's a simple macro that I'm going to use for adding comments, and there's a macro which I use for jumping back and forth between the text and the comments. That's less important if you're splitting the screen, but it is still important because you need to be able to jump from different comments to different parts of the text to which they refer. And then there's one called update. You'll see the importance of that in a minute. And then I've done a more comprehensive, if you like, version of adding comments, QQ comments, into the text, which has more facilities, and you'll see how that works. And then I am promising, but haven't done yet, to do the equivalent of the comment add menu, or the comment adder if you're used to that one. For the old comments, I'll do the equivalent so that you can add comments to a document from a set, your own set of standard comments that you want to use. Right, okay, so let's have a play and see how we get on. Let's have some text to play with. Here we go. So we start off with the simple one, the comment add, QQ add simple. So if we add a comment, place the cursor where we want the comment, run the macro, and it jumps down the bottom. If there aren't any comments yet, it puts in that heading QQ comments so that it knows where to find the comments, and then type in some comment at this point, and as you can see down below, that's the end note which relates to this, by which we can jump around. So if I use the switch, QQ switch, then that takes me back to where I was before. So if I get a bit of text here, just copy that. So if I add a comment there, that goes down here, and just paste that text in there just to give us some text to play with. So if I'm in the first comment and I switch and I go to there, I can go to this one and switch again, and it takes me back to the second comment. So you can see you can move around between the comments like that. So if we split the screen, we can do the same sort of thing again. So let's go to the top and jump from this one. So you just put the cursor in front of the marker there, and you can switch, and you go down to the bottom there, and from the bottom again you can switch back up to the top again. Now if you look at the link, the EndNote link there, you'll see that it's highlighted, it's bold, and it's large. So that's set within the macro at the beginning, that you've got options there. You can have it bold or not. You can choose the color for the background highlight, and you can choose how much bigger the font size is than the text that it relates to. So that's that one. Okay, so that was the simple adder, QQ add simple. QQ add, what that one does, just go down here. If I say I want to, where are we? Add some of this here. There are no. Let's do it on there. If I add something there with the add, then as you can see, it's added in the it's added an underline to the text that was selected and then put in the link, EndNote link. And what it's also done here is this is where the text is going in. This is where our comments going. It's put page number and line number. That's optional. You don't have to use it if you don't want to. So let's have a look at that. So in the QQ add macro, you can choose, and you could, if I could expand the window, there we go. You can choose to have the page number and line number if you want them or not there, true or false. The underlining you've got there, so that's the add underline is true, but you can also have use color and highlight. So if I just put that in front of there and that in front of there. So now it's going to make the highlight yellow and the color blue. Yeah, so if I try that, if I do a bit of so if I have that, whoops, missed it, that bit and use add, so you can see now this one, it's well, you can't really see the blue, but it's yellow and blue and it's underlined as well, so you can choose which you want, and you've got the line and line numbers and whatnot there. Okay, so we've got some comments there. If I add another comment further up, let's say here, oh yes, one thing I need to show you is that what if I put in a comment there, what it's also done is it's copied that text that I selected. So if I paste that text in here, there, then it's copied it before it put on those colours and underlines and things. So there's the text. So that again, that's an optional extra. You might not want it to copy the text because you might want to bring some text from somewhere else in the clipboard. So that's another option. Okay, so if you look at the so let's make it a bit bigger, the comments here, I added 5 comments, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and number 5 is between 2 and 3. So is that going to cause a confusion? Well, it shouldn't do, because they're still linked in the sense that if I switch, then it goes to whichever one it's supposed to, even though it's got a different set of, the numbers are different. So I want to go back to the top one, then it deals with that. So however, what we can also do is QQ update. So if I run the update, what that has done down here, these are now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in order, and of course obviously the numbers are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the text itself, because they're the end notes and they're numbered automatically. So if I were to move some of that text, suppose I move that one up to there, then Word has renumbered those end notes so they're in the right order. However, the comments that relate to them have not renumbered. Not to worry, if you run the update again, then you've got them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 obviously in the text. Here you can see that the 5 and the 4 are in the wrong order, so if you want to, doesn't really matter, but if it's important to you, you can move that down so that then the comments are in the same order as they are in the actual text. I think that's about all I have to show you. So let's just check. Let's go back to here. So we can split the screen, we can add simple comments, we have got a switch to move between the different parts, we can renumber with update, we can have more features with QQ add, and I am promising that in due course I'll give you a menu based comment system, or QQ comment system. Well, hope that's helpful. If you've got any other ideas or questions, then do get in touch. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye now.